This conference will now be recorded.
Got the clock, looks like it's 5:30, so we'll call the meeting to order. First item is the agenda. Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I'm going to make one correction. I'd like to request to remove 6B, which is zoning ordinance amendment proposal.
Okay.
The only reason for that is because I've yet to hear back from the attorney on
Sure.
possible guidance on it, so I don't want to propose anything yet until I actually have some legal direction on that.
Sure.
So
Sure. Anything else?
that's it.
Okay, can we get a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Make a motion. Then I'll second.
Okay, sure.
The motion to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0-0. Okay, the minutes of the last meeting from March. Should be in your packets.
Just Tom and I were the only ones that were here, or not Tom, but,
Fred and Bev and Bev. Huh?
yep. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Been moved to a second. Okay. Been moved and second that we approve the minutes from last meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0-0. Okay, we're near the time for the public hearing, so I guess we'll open the hearing for, maybe let's, any preliminary you want to say before we open the hearing?
Sure. So we received a preliminary plat application from Mark Mangan and Ben Olson Realty to subdivide the lot at 612 St. Paul Road into 5 lots for single-family houses. And so I brought this up last month just as informational only, just that heads up, this was on its way because we didn't have all the corrected materials at the time. So we received that application, and you can see a map there in your packet on what they're planning to do. It's just the preliminary plat you can see in there. So that's just basically the overall summary documents for it. Our engineers have reviewed this and recommended conditional approval. The conditions are that they satisfy the rest of the engineering issues for the final plat. So you'll still see that next month as well. So this is just the preliminary, like the kind of first look at it, first approvals for things to move forward. For context, they did previously do a minor subdivision about 5 years ago for this anyways, which was approved by city council. So this is kind of just going back to that and getting ready. You may have questions about, well, who's developing this? There's actually no developer attached. According to our city ordinance, because of the lot this size and for the amount of lots they want to put out, they're just doing it because this is what they have to do legally to actually subdivide the lots into 5 different separate distinct lots. And this will be recorded, and then they will go and sell each lot either all together, individually. I'm not really sure. That's kind of up to them. So those are kind of the preliminary items for you to kind of think about. The rezoning aspect is that this is currently an industrial property due to the business, and that it used to be that way. And a lot of the area around there was industrial before then, obviously, because it's proximity to the rest of the industrial kind of park in that area. And we'd be looking to move that into residential.
So what we have to decide tonight is looking at the rezoning primarily.
Rezoning and preliminary plat.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'll open the hearing for comments now. If you want to, if anyone wants to say anything about this, pro or con, floor is open.
Are they gonna build townhouses instead of that
This is a single family home.
I don't know if that's been determined.
Part of that paper we got was 5 single family homes, and you know, I live out there, we don't want to snot those kids running up and down. Townhouses are perfect for us old people.
I guess it's still kind of up to the developer. I guess that could still change.
Developer.
There is no developer technically. So it's just the owner, Mark Mangan, wanting to sell the lots basically at this point. Whoever comes in there will kind of get say on what they do. I guess the plan is for single family lots, but again, that could still change. We don't have,
What I gotta do is put my name in, but you can get a developer, I wanna talk to him. And get 2 cents, get a couple townhouses anyway.
yeah.
Before Mark even sells them, he's got to know what he wants in there, doesn't he?
I'm not too sure. I guess it's up to him and the realtor and their engineers. It's not really the city to decide.
Because I'm guessing, how wide are them lots?
How what?
How wide are them lots?
They're pretty narrow, and that's because it goes back towards the river. I don't have the exact parameters on how wide it is, but they still fit within our ordinance for width on a single family lot.
Single family, that's what I'm saying, though, even in a double one, they probably wouldn't meet that then.
I don't know. Yeah, it would depend, I think.
Well, they didn't build a house, she from us, right in her house, and she gets a foot of water in a.
No, not a foot,
Half a foot.
6 inches, one time.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
Thank you for sharing that,
Yeah.
but that's what it
That was
says,
a bad year.
but that's what it says.
And the only lot that's in trouble would be the one that's closest to my garage. And that they'd have to bring in more fill, otherwise they might have water in their backyard.
That would be in the far northwest part? Would that be the far northwest part of the property?
Zill's or Carroll,
Okay.
the one closest to the brick,
Okay.
yeah.
Because that was my question too, as far as floodplain, where does this lie as far as?
Only according to the federal maps on the floodplains, they are only in a portion of the property. And according to our ordinance and Minnesota standards, our engineers always request that they raise the elevation on when they build the lots. So whenever these houses go in, they will be raised up like a foot or two so that they accommodate for that floodplain risk.
Is there enough fill where they did put fill, or will they have to bring in more?
I don't know.
Yeah, the one lot question.
How many acres do you have? This is just the plat.
Yeah, it would go. I didn't put that one in there.
And what are they on
Something
here?
like that. And he's
They
keeping.
aren't plotted out yet, but they'll be like this.
That's what I was just asking. What we have here is just the flat.
Yeah, not much information.
Any other comments? Hi, Bob. Oh, I'm sorry. A little sore throat. Yeah, I was just saying, is there any other comments from anyone? Any other questions?
Curb and gutter will be brought in then when they start this?
I
Do you
believe,
have any idea?
that's part of the city.
That is part of the plan, is that and then the road would be paved as well as the utilities brought in for these lots as well. There's not really a timeline on that because of the cost, because the city's already working on a Pleasant Avenue project right now. And we kind of have a set timeline of capital improvements and when streets get done. So we don't really know the timeline on that. Part of it kind of hinges on,
The curb and gutter would probably come to that yard like before my place, because they're not actually developing just that last lot next to me.
yeah, I don't know what the exact plan was. Because again, a lot of this was done way before me, because I remember a lot of this was put in when they originally put the townhomes in. I think the plan was to put a roundabout kind of out by you, maybe. I don't know if that's still the plan. I think we still want
What
to.
becomes of the rest of the road then in front of me, that become my driveway then, and the neighbors across from me. That's what I had heard.
I don't know. Some of these just kind of come down to the engineers, and I can provide kind of the engineering documents at the next planning meeting for the final plat as well.
Yeah, so the final plat will come in, those details will be decided. Right now, I guess we're just looking at the concept of whether to change it, zoning change, and whether the whole thing makes some sense.
The guy that runs the city administrator or whatever he is, he told me that they won't make blacktop in that road because they have to start off at the bowling alley and go all the way. Then they have to spend $2 million on a bridge because you can't do a turnaround there because it's all private property. And then keep going. And he said the city does not want to spend $2 million. It's a bridge anyway there, but.
Well, I mean, you're exactly right. We are not going to be spending $2 million on this project anytime in the near future. Yeah. And again, at some point, it's gonna get done. It's a matter of when, honestly, because it's really one of the only roads in town that isn't that way. And we get complaints about it all the time. And at some point it will. It's just a matter of when, because previously the city council decided not to pave that road because of pushback that we had on doing that. But it's not in our current timeline on getting done. Just don't know when. Because this is kind of sprang up this spring here and in this winter. So it wasn't in our capital improvements plan. Those will change over time, but we're not looking, I mean, the earliest it could probably happen is 2029, maybe. So I just don't know right now.
Sorry, I'm late. How many lots would there be in that?
They're looking at 5.
What's the width? Roughly?
Not determined.
They're not platted yet.
They're not.
This is a preliminary plat and a rezone.
I don't have the exact dimensions on it, but they're probably going to be more narrow than what you would typically see on other lots, just because of the way the property's structured, just going back towards the river. But they would still meet our overall dimensions for our city code and like the 6,000 square foot lots and what we require. So as far as now, it's going to be single family, but again, we don't have a developer attached to the project. It's just so they can sell the lots. But that would be determined at a future date, I think.
So if we approve the 5 lots and they want to go to twin homes, there wouldn't be room for 5 lots then. So that's to be determined later then.
Well, we would know by the final plat. I mean, you'll see that next month for sure. But again, they're not, the weird, unique aspect about this one is that they're not the ones building this. So this could still change when someone buys these lots. Maybe they want to do something completely different. I'm not sure. And so that's kind of why this one's unique as compared to like our Highlands up in the golf course where they're ready to go. They have the builders. And so know exactly what they're putting in which spots. But this one's a little bit odd because, we're working with a realtor rather than a builder. So.
And they could join 2 lots. I mean, we do that, don't we?
We do that
Yeah.
sometimes. So it would just depend. And one of the reasons the preliminary plat kind of works is because we have specific requirements on how often you can minor subdivide a lot. So we'd have to see when that would happen because they did it before. It was 5 years ago, so they met their requirement. They might have to wait 5 years again if they wanted to do that instead, because we're doing this now. So.
Who's responsible to put the water and sewer into all these lots and the people that are buying the lots then?
Well, the cost would be incurred by the developer, and then they would probably put it on the houses when they sell them. It's kind of how they usually do it.
The developer pays for it and then they figure it in the price of the lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are there comments from the public? Okay, I'll close the public hearing and open it for more discussion from the commission. Any other questions or comments from the commission?
Do we have any concerns that it's a industrial lot or zoned industrial now wanting to switch to residential? Like, are there any restrictions or concerns with that rezone change?
I would say from a city perspective, we don't have any, and because this property has been over time trying to get to this point where they can sell the lots. So like we did have some comments I received privately over the phone, talking about, well, the viewership of the townhome side to the river and wanting to be able to go up to that still. Well, those used to be trees all there and they cleared those out so they could get to this point where they could sell these lots for houses to get put in. And we talked about the minor subdivision. They did that at one point on the prospect of selling these lots and doing the housing anyways. So we've kind of reviewed this before. It's just been years since then. And so things have changed.
The adjacent property is residential across the road. so-
Across the road, yeah.
Yep.
We got other areas in town that are set aside for industrial versus, I mean, I would think the neighbors up there would rather have residential homes there than industrial over there anyway.
Is this a highly traveled road now?
No, it's a dead end road.
That's what the roundabout down on the other end to turn around.
Mhm.
How do these people get out? Just,
It's out this way.
sure.
Yeah, they're all flooded out to it.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I know how you could get townhouses there. You become the developer.
Right?
You become the developer.
Well, I sure wouldn't build a house in the water, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think the water floodplain is down by the river there, isn't it?
Yep.
If they build them up
Look at
further.
the topo layers here, it looks like that would be the potential area.
I have a buddy of mine that's, works for a guy I know, and I will see him before the land. His buddy, boss, gonna give him, give him one hell of a house.
There you go.
He's building townhouses.
All right. So any other comments or questions or open for motion on this action?
Do we need to have two, one for the plat and one for the
I
rezone?
would think that would be appropriate.
I will move to approve the rezone from the industrial to, is it R1,
Residential.
It'd probably go R2 would be my guess.
which would allow the single family and
Or do,
duplex.
right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so moved and seconded that we recommend to the council a rezoning of this area from business to residential. Is there any other discussion or questions?
So we're approving the preliminary plat too?
That'll be a second motion. So all those in favor of the rezone, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 400. Now the preliminary plat, alter it from one lot to multiple lots.
5 lots. isn't it?
We get a motion on that?
I'll move to approve the preliminary plat.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we recommend to the council approval of the preliminary plat. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 400. Thank you all. Thank you for coming out. Okay, now we'll go to item 5 on the agenda is old business. Do we have any old business to tend to?
None.
Okay, that's easy enough. Go to item 6, new business, final plat for Highland 7.
Thank you. So we received application from Bigelow Homes for a final plat to construct 28 single-family homes along Zumbrota Golf Course. We held a public hearing for the preliminary plat on February 10th with about a dozen residents or so. We heard some comments regarding construction timeline, road access, possible inclusion of a park. And then city engineer Bill Ingerman submitted a review letter to the city and recommended conditional approval of the final plat. I don't believe I put that letter in here, but most of all the items on there have been satisfied by this point. They've been working with Sambatech, which is the contractor, engineer who's done the plans on these. So most of those items have been satisfied at this point, and that will be available for council review on Thursday. So yeah, looking to move this forward to get to council this week here.
So we don't need a public hearing on it. We're just looking at finalizing the recommendation.
Yeah, just finalizing. We don't need any public hearings at this point.
One question I had, because I had just, these streets, are these full width streets or are these narrow traffic reducing streets?
Are they narrow or
Are they the,
they're going to be the wide
there's
ones?
the wider ones? Okay,
Yeah.
that's, I was
I
just
think
wondering.
that got caught, ended on the plan,
Yes,
and
it
that
did.
changed.
Okay,
Because where they came in, they were gonna be a little bit narrower. And the engineers sent it back to them and said they had to be to match what's out there.
right.
It's already built on now.
Yeah. So I drove through there the other day on that narrow street. It slowed you down. It still could be scary at night with kids.
You know, but I think that all got changed on this final plat.
I'm Tony Bigelow.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about the narrow streets.
And how wide is a wide street?
It's 50 feet is the right of way.
Well, right away, but back of curve to back of curve, 32 to 36.
So it's a regular size, yeah.
That's what you've got out there now,
Yeah.
How much?
to extend it. I think on
I'm just not sure, there's two streets, and I'm not sure if the
Yeah.
one closest to six is a little narrower. I didn't bring the plans with me, but I had a conversation with Bill Hangerman about his letter, and I didn't see the.
Yeah, no, that's
Or
what,
fake company.
at the public hearing, that question was asked,
Okay.
that they, coming on 6 there, that was, what was preliminary here was a little narrower than what you were joining up to. So it's gonna match what you've already got there. That's the way I
That was
understood
my
it.
one question.
That's the way I understood it.
Any other questions or comments? Are you open for a motion?
The lot sizes are all typical of what you have out there. I mean, some of them vary, but they meet the minimums.
Yep, they all meet the minimums. And to be fair, this is also currently in a planned unit development.
Oh,
So some of those change. Now, we're kind of working on that anyways too, because I don't know why. Well, right now, we're obviously still in construction phase, but we have a lot of planned unit developments around the city. So we are looking at kind of those items, but I mean, for where it currently is, I mean, they're still in construction phases and there's still room to grow here. So it's in the correct spot.
I'll make the motion that we recommend to the council approval of this final plat. Good second?
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded that we recommend to the council approval of the final plat for Highlands and Road 7. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0-0. Thank you for coming out. All right, then we get to other on the agenda, Safe Built quarterly update.
Yep, so I'm just providing the first quarter update for our safe built permitting. So you can see kind of where we're at for now. I would say, it's been a pretty active start to the year, I would say, from my perspective. We've had some bigger items. Namely, the biggest one was the Keller Bartman apartment building permit coming through. So that is a large, I mean, you look at the fees paid. That's I don't know if that's on this one in particular, but that was a significant cost for them. So that would be a large portion of that sum. But I would say, it's been pretty active so far. And we're going to progress into our hotter times of the year. So just for your review.
I had one question on this, sir. Yeah. You got a new single-family house residential. You got a $2,285,000 house. Oh, that's 6 of them, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Single.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that typical for 6 in the first quarter of the year to get 6 new ones going, or?
Well, they've kind of been carryover. So I think a couple of them were the ones on 9th Street. So they were kind of going, and they're kind of going now.
Yeah.
So So it's kind of these kind of like little odd ones. So they haven't been like part of a development or anything, but they're just those kind of couple odd ones, like the Anthony Court ones. I think maybe were part of this quarter as well.
Okay.
So those kind of just couple, like one or two kind of just oddballs that were just here and there. So
I was just wondering how those numbers, because you go out by this, on the Highlands on the 6th there, and it seems like they're just sprouting up like mushrooms.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, especially when the Highland 7th will probably end up getting going, like we'll probably see a significant portion of them too.
Okay.
So.
Any other questions for Miles?
Yeah, what are these plumbing, like, what is that, house plumbing or what? They're
Yeah, illegal plumbing repairs.
in a house?
Yep.
They have to come if they want to get a sink replaced or something?
Basically, the way I see it is basically almost everything you do basically needs a permit.
Really?
Yep. And so there's some items where you don't really need them, like fences, even sometimes maybe even like a deck sometimes, but basically everything that's in there is something. that
Anything
need
you
to
do
get
to your
done.
house, you should have a permit.
That's definitely better safe than sorry, I would say. Now, again,
Yep.
are we gonna find out about it? Maybe not, but you know, it's always better because if you get caught,
I
it's
suspect there's a lot of water heaters are replaced without a permit.
yeah.
Yeah, or even replacing a single appliance. Is that like just an appliance in the kitchen?
Well, I don't know about stuff like that, but
No,
that's
if you
rough.
were having electrical work done, for sure. If you're, yeah, replumbing something, but if you're.
I think over here though, it says about a furnace and whatever too, so.
a lot of these ones I don't see specifically because they don't apply to city work. So like our Safe Built, they handle plumbing inspections, they do electrical. They do all that code compliance for us. So I don't have to do that. And so I don't see them very often. So they
Mhm.
kind of go through without my notice until I see the fees for it. Yeah, and so basically everything gets a permit and some of them are just flat fees. So they're basically, you apply for it and you kind of get it. And then sometimes they need more review ahead of it.
Or sometimes they probably do it with one apply. You know, right?
Or they start and then, we find out that they're doing it and then our inspector goes out there and says, hey, you need a permit. And then that kind of stalls things for a while, so.
Well, it's interesting.
Well, it shows growth, you know, shows that things are happening.
Right.
Mhm.
What's this one building without a permit? One, fees paid, 0.
Where's that?
Small shed, first page. I
Oh, I
figured
see.
out the small shed is what I was guessing.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. That could have been the one on Main Street. I'm not too sure how it was.
But they paid the fees already, know, right?
Yes, they did. I don't know if it was classified into a separate permit though. So I don't know. I don't have all the exact ones on there. I'd have to go back in and look to see which one that was. I don't recall seeing anything like that, but
So do you know approximately like them 6 permits for housing, 2 million, fees paid 20,000?
Mhm.
Does that generate very much money for the city?
well, so Safe Built takes most of the cut. So they take 80% because they do all the code compliance reviews and we keep 20%.
We keep 20% out of them fees?
Yep.
Okay.
And all the payments come directly to us and we reimburse them. So, so everything comes to us initially and then they take whatever's left. But I will say too, our fees are actually pretty much, we just upped them, last year, but they're still lower than a lot of our other communities. Especially, I just spoke with Goodhue County about this because they're going to be rolling out their own system. And they're significantly higher. Well, maybe not significantly higher, but
Municipality area.
yeah.
Has it been working pretty good with Safe Built?
Yeah, they've been great. The other inspectors, I think, are liked. I think people don't really have a problem with our inspectors that we use through them. They do a good job and they're very responsive. They handle all this stuff for me too. So, I don't have formal training in building code, so I can't review this stuff. And so it definitely takes a burden off our back. It's not the biggest moneymaker, but legally it can't be. We can't just use this money for anything we want. So, it's basically only to upkeep the ability for us to actually do these. So it really makes us no money generally, but
It's not intended.
it does well for us. I do get complaints about the length of time for building permits that come in. And that they spend in code compliance review. But that's something that I've brought up before. But again,
How long does it take normally?
well, it depends on the thing. So,
Yeah.
we get kind of maybe complaints for larger, we got it from, like the apartment building or something, right? And it's like, if they complained about it, then that building permit was in there probably for 3 or 4 months
Yeah, and that's,
awaiting review.
mean-
But that's a massive building,
yeah.
and if it's a deck and, I would say a week turnaround.
That's,
Like for a roof or siding.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, I would say, for the most part. It's just those big ones that we get that can take a while, but there's more that goes into it. There's engineering reviews.
and that's typical. That timeline is typical
You
for a
mentioned it.
review, I can tell you that.
You see the apartment building, the status of that, or what's the status? I see they got the fence up now over here.
Yep, the plan that I know of is that they're starting demo basically any day. As Schumacher's on standby to start demolition, and they'll go from there. The contractor or the general contractor I've spoken to a couple times, and he put the fence up. But yeah, he's ready to go whenever they're starting to move. We have everything paid up. Development agreement fees all paid up, building permit fees all paid up. So
Any problems with the parking not being available anymore?
we've heard some complaints, but again, it's kind of temporary until the building opens up and then that parking opens up for everybody. But we have other city lots that are kitty corner.
People have
frankly.
found spots, so then it's worked out.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're being really honest with you, I mean, the parking for a lot of the stuff downtown isn't in compliance anyways, technically, against our ordinance. So, say what you want, but,
What's that?
well, some of the parking for downtown isn't technically in compliance anyways.
Is
No.
not in compliance, you're saying? Not.
Yeah, because they have some apartment buildings and technically you need 2 spots for every unit or for everything. And well, they don't,
It's a great
or they use the city lots. And so they're not providing adequate parking anyways. Now, that's really neither here nor there because we of course let anyone use our city lots because why not? But that's kind of the argument, I suppose. But we've kind of opened up the ability for, you can kind of use the library overnight if you need it. The street parking's going to be available since winter's about over, knock on wood. And then we have our city lots, kitty corner that are available too, the same as it was before. And then once the building opens up, which should be, they should be done, I mean, close to beginning of winter next year, then those will open back up and be available for anyone to use. So it's just kind of a temporary thing.
Beginning of the winter in 27 then?
Yep. That's the original timeline is what they gave us, but they were obviously delayed a bit. So it might push into like December a little bit this year, but they're moving pretty quick on this and they should have this building put up pretty fast, I think.
Really?
So it's just it's the same way they did the first building too. They've kind of are building it offsite, but they're hauling it in parts. Yeah, so I don't know how it really works, but the way they use it, they say, yeah, it goes in quick, so.
So were they always planning on blocking off all the side, this parking on West Avenue there?
On West Avenue
I didn't notice that.
Across from Nielsen's, where a lot of Nielsen's people park?
Oh, yeah, well, part of it is because the lot kind of juts out into that easement a little bit. And so they're just making sure they have enough space.
On this end, you mean?
Yeah, to put the fence up so that they can haul the demo in and do the building construction. As far as I know, that was always the plan, but.
I was just a little surprised that they took up all that
So the
parking.
angle parkings are all off.
They're all fenced in.
Oh, didn't notice that.
But again, those will open back up when the building.
No, I realize that for now, though, I mean,
Short
Yeah.
term, yeah.
You need them.
But Nilsson's is never
It's on
full
your side.
anyway, it's just parked there.
huh?
Nilsson's is never full anyway.
But I think a lot of the workers park there to leave that open.
Right, they park up by the wall. Okay, and then legislative update?
I did mention earlier last year, or not earlier last year, but November, so that I would be tracking legislation that we might be interested in. And so I was tracking a bill that had a lot of interest from legislators called the Starter Homes Act. If we've maybe heard of it or not, it ultimately failed this time around, but it would have taken a lot of local authority away over zoning regulations and basically saying that housing can go anywhere in any zone, was my interpretation. We had lots of pushback from cities, and our lobbyists from League of Minnesota Cities pushed back hard on it. It did ultimately fail for now, but it will be brought back. So that was kind of my update. It was just heads up. That was the big one that I saw. Everything else has either failed or died for this term for the legislature. There's nothing else of interest to me, but that was the big one. And it got in committee, but didn't go anywhere, but I suspect we'll see it again. So I know it's just a
And
way for them.
What's the reason behind that? Do you know?
Why it failed?
No, what's the push to have it?
I think what the argument is that they want a way to increase the supply of housing.
Density.
Yep, and they want more housing available.
We don't want to limit it to the big houses and big lots.
Right.
Yep, so they again, it's the same argument with, you talk about modular homes, trailer homes, where they want to make it available in any zone, so you can't just deny it. They want to just basically say the city does not have the right to say no to housing going in.
Right.
And that it just has to go in if a developer wants to put it there. Again, that's kind of depends on what argument you have regarding it, but yeah.
Any other business?
Yeah, we had talked about the Wobig property up here. And there's semis in and out up there all the time. And I see it's zoned residential, duplex and triplex. But there was a semi in there again tonight unloading. And I've been watching, and it's very often that they come up my street and drive in and unload. And so is that okay?
Well, where's this property? Because maybe I can
It's at
pull it
the
up.
end of Ninth, going into, I suppose it's still called 190th.
Where the
It's
gravel
across
starts.
from where the new houses are going in
yeah.
on Ninth Street.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
That's all zone residential?
Yeah,
Where the
it's owned
big-
residential, duplex and triplex, and it's owned by the lady that, it says, owned by the gal that owns that Busy Baby.
Busy baby.
She lives
Well,
in
she
Norfolk.
bought that to put her
She
business
leases
up
it
there.
in Wobig,
She bought the whole thing evidently.
I guess my interpretation, because we've looked at it before, because we get lots of calls on it, I think it must be up for sale, because we get a lot of calls on the zoning for this. I guess my interpretation was that it must be grandfathered in, and obviously this all predates me, of course. But I think this must have been grandfathered in with the rest of the
It's
zoning
not
there.
for sale in MLS, no, it's expired as, it looked like it was a lease.
Oh, I see, okay.
Because it's valued at $2,197,000.
Yeah, that's what you paid for it.
But I mean, as far as the traffic that goes in there, I don't think the zoning code has anything to say about it. I don't know about the parking. I mean, again, the use is obviously not residential.
Well, the
but-
thing is, with the semis coming up 9th Street and 13th Street
Well, I mean, at Wobig, when you built.
and using those,
how
our
they
9th Street is in
built
terrible
their-
shape anyway, and the city does not
warehouse.
seem interested in fixing it.
When it was.
And we
residential.
now have all the semi-traffic going up there, and they come right back down. They go east and then they come back west. It's,
When he built,
All that, it was still township.
oh,
and
yeah,
they just about, I mean,
And then
when
they
they go by
annexed
my
it in,
house, it's
yeah.
just like,
okay.
my house doesn't shake, but it could,
Mhm.
as noisy as it is, with all the
Well, the
bumps.
city council could, I mean, you can indicate truck routes, right? And limit truck traffic.
I'd have to look
On
into
city
it.
Fred and I were
streets.
just, Fred and I just talking, when they built that warehouse up there, it was still township property.
Yeah, it was, that's right.
And so when it was annexed into the city, apparently nothing ever got changed as far as limiting or zoning its use there.
You know, I don't know if that warehouse went in there when that still was township property, because they built up there
Mhm.
after
Yeah,
that
I'm-
big, you know, the basic big shed that's
Yeah.
got the apartments in it,
Right.
that was there. But I believe they built that warehouse now that they're taking the cargo into
Okay,
was after
I don't know about
this
that.
whole deal with
That's a good
getting
question.
annexed in.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I'll look into it and I'll kind of see what our code says about that. Because I mean, if the truck routes thing is for real, I can look into that and we can talk to council and see what they say.
I've got pictures of the semis. I mean, I walk up there and when they're loading, I take a picture of them. So they're,
Is Wobig just use
That's what
it
they're
for
doing.
warehouse or?
As far as the road goes, and we did plan to
That's
do that at one point, but they
What's in
pushed
there now?
back and it was deferred.
We'll make one.
So I don't know, but we want to do it at some point, but again, it's
Even if
not.
they would come in and fix
Or part of
between
that.
Meyer Hopper's driveway
That
and
was
the
the
end
first
of
one that
Meyer
we built.
Hopper's lot, where it
You
joins
had a
Meyer.
body shop in there.
That, you come around that corner, and I mean, there are potholes there that
The
you
body
have
shop out of
to
there.
avoid if you're not gonna wreck your car. You don't wanna, you don't wanna hit
I
it.
guess I'm not familiar with
But
that.
why can't they just hire somebody to come in and
I'm not
fill those
familiar with
holes
this other
and just
building.
fix that
Yeah,
little,
when you come in the driveway, the main building sits here
from our
Yeah.
driveway
and back over here.
on east,
Another
it's not
warehouse.
good.
I think that's
But
where she
it's
runs her
not
busy
that
days.
dangerous as what it is at that corner where Meyer Hopper's
The main
is.
building is just.
There's gotta be a little
body
bit of
shop
money
now?
that they
Well,
could
two apartments,
find to
well,
fix those
that's
potholes
where
and get
Greenstead
that
goes to.
corner
Yeah.
piece.
But the body
fixed.
shop, there's
Check
nothing
in on that.
Will you
See.
put,
When
Yeah.
he had it,
tell them that was brought up at the.
he was leasing that back.
A lot of it's empty.
Don't tell them
Most
by
of
who.
that's empty.
That Greenstead, they
Yeah,
closed
it-
up.
that- it's, you should drive up there. I mean, if you want to see what it is,
They closed up there
just,
too, or?
it's a corner of Lally and Night,
They were closed up there when they came down here.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
coming up Night.
anyway, we chatter on. Is there any other business or should we adjourn?
Nothing else from me.
Motion?
For me.
Anyone want to make a motion to?
I make a motion to adjourn.
And move to second that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries at 6:10 PM. We're adjourned. Thank you all for coming, contributing.
This whole thing on St. Paul Road, to me, it just seems, I mean, it wasn't much of a preliminary plan that we had.
No.
I mean, I have all the construction plans for it.